is that also the reason why you give up to be a pro player?
The pro player thing, the problem with being a pro, so people don't understand this, but playing video games professionally is not easy. Especially like it's very mentally taxing. So like before this, I was a developer. I built like websites and apps and like built games and like computers and stuff, but not computers, sort of web applications for other companies and stuff. And that is like, when you think about that, like that is mentally taxing, where you come home and you just want to sleep. Pro gaming is so mentally taxing that you can't even eat before you sleep. You're just out. Because like we were playing, when we were boot camping, to put it into perspective, we were playing Arena of Valor 14 to 16 hours a day. And that's like not an exaggeration. That's like we got up at 5, we started playing, we had like, a donut, and then we had like dinner at 11, and we went to bed and we got back up at 5, and we repeated that for like a month. And that's the dedication and hard work that these teams put in. And people think, oh, it's just it's just a game. But at that level, when you have to, like when you're playing for money, it's at a completely different level than anyone just picking up their phone and playing Angry Birds or whatever, right? It's like it's an insanely different skill cap. And the reason that I stopped playing professionally is because I always wanted to be a streamer, and I was a streamer before I played professionally. And when you play pro, I'm someone who has to do things 110%. So like if I'm gonna do it, I have to give it my all. I could not find a way to manage playing the game professionally and streaming. When I was playing professionally, there was no time for me to stream, and I can't stream it and it be real practice. Like when you're practicing, you're like 100% focused. So as soon as you start streaming it, like I'm focused on chat, I'm focused on being entertaining, being fun for the audience. And so when you're trying to actually get good mechanically, you just can't do both realistically. And yeah, I gave it up because my passion was more of the streaming side and playing the games and bringing other people. Like I always liked bringing other people to the game, watching them sort of fall in love with it, and then being able to say like, okay, who do I know that I can, like, if this person's really good, I could put them on a pro team. To me, I find more joy in that than I do actually playing professionally. Like there's something about competition and playing for money that is really amazing and a great experience. But doing that long term, I can imagine would be extremely daunting.
But well, as you explained that to be a pro player is a very hard job actually.
Yeah.
But could you share some experience about the streamer life of yourself?
Yeah, of course. So right now, I currently stream full-time on Facebook and Twitch. I have contracts to stream like AOV exclusive on Facebook, and then I'm partnered on Twitch. So on Facebook, it's like 100% AOV content, and I keep trying to like, ever since I kind of fell in love with Arena of Valor, I wanted North America as a region to be good, because I know that one, like I said, games are not as popular here as they are all over the world. But 2, we're sort of behind. We're always behind, right? Like, it sucks, but like every game we're in, like we go to play against all, the foreign regions, and it's just a stomp. Like it's really unfortunate. And so when I got to play, in Korea, and I got to learn from not only the Korean teams, but I got to learn from like the teams that became really good, like J team when they were all really good, and all of them, and all those teams before they were, even split up and becoming different teams for the KPL. They taught us so much that I was like, cool, when I go back to America, I can either play pro, or what I can do is I can take all that and I can just give it to North America and see if we can catch up. They've had this game for like, how long? 5 years now? Like we've had this game for a month. Like how much can we take from like that experience and give back? So I started immediately making a bunch of videos and streaming every time and just trying to share the professional knowledge, because Arena of Valor, because it's in a phone game, it's inherently not as intense mechanically. Yes, there's really crazy mechanical players where you're just like, I can't believe you even did that on a phone. Like that doesn't even make sense. Good job. But that doesn't really shift the tide of pro level gameplay. What ends up doing that is sort of strategy. And so I really tried to bring the macro level like strategy to North America. And so yeah, most of my time, my streamer life went to producing content, to bringing that strategy from from all those other regions and trying to, you know, catch America up. And I'm still doing that today, right? Like it's a long process, but I figure the most that I can help the community, the better. Anytime I like a game a lot, I really try to just like build up the community the best I can and put people where I think that they deserve to be. And so, yeah, other than that, I do a sort of variety. So on Twitch, like to take a breather from all that, I'll stream some just like fun games with friends. I'll just play some battle royales or sort of even every now and then they have a just chatting category, which is where you just talk. And we'll spend hours just talking about like life and balance and balancing things like being a pro player or games and you know, relationships in general or things like that. And because at the end of the day, like, you know, you want people to just be good people in general. And if they can make success at games, awesome. But if not, like if they can just be a better person for hanging out with you, that's awesome too. I think my stream's always been about sort of lifting people up in general, regardless of the game. So I kind of focus on that.
Mm-hmm. But to your opinion, that what is the effect of a game?
Like what effect does it have on people? Or games are interesting. They're really weird because they can bring out the best and worst in people. Like you're putting someone in what they don't realize at the time, and this is why it happens so naturally, but like really high pressure competitive situations, even for something as simple as, or what people would think is as simple as a phone game, can really like, it can teach you a lot about someone because how they react towards you and towards others in the game. It really shows sort of where they're at in their life. And that's kind of insane, but you see it online all the time. Like you have people who you would never expect to just like freak out, just raging over like the most, like over one like ranked game where it literally like in the scope of things doesn't really matter, but that's just how they can cope with it, or they're handling the situation at the time. The other cool thing is you can see people grow. Like you can see if they start like that and then they start taking like whatever they're playing more seriously, and then they sort of change and they realize, okay, like this isn't the best way to communicate. Like there's other ways that I can sort of get my point across without freaking out. And then there's some people that don't, like that's just their thing, like that's just who they are, right? And you can't hold that against them. Like if they're just gonna be that kind of person, you just have to accept that, and you either like have them on their team as that or not. And there's I don't know, game's crazy. They have a lot of interpersonal dynamics, especially as a streamer. You kind of get to take an outside look. If you're watching anything like the pro leagues or, you know, Valor Series, KPL for other ones and things like that, you can see the communication happen without even hearing it. It's kind of insane. Like you'll see the tank go in, and you know if his team follows him up that was a good call and that they were all there and they're paying attention, right? In like a team fight or something, right? Or you'll see like the tank go in and nobody follows him and they all get destroyed, and you know that like there was some miscommunication there, right? Like he didn't say something, and you know behind the scenes how they handle it by what happens next. So you either watch them like come back from that and you're like, okay, however they handled that ended up working well, like that's unfortunate for that situation, but they were able to turn around, or you just see them get stomped and you know that there was a breakdown in communication behind the scenes there. And that's at a competitive level, but even as something as simple as playing like a battle royale and your squad mates freaking out because you know you got downed for the third time and you know it's your fault, but like how they reacted, it's kind of crazy. It kind of brings out things that people would probably even try to hide from themselves just naturally, I would say.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
But who are actually playing mobile games now?
Who are playing mobile games? Like, I think most of the people who play mobile games are in America specifically are more casual. I'd say our market here especially is for hyper casual games, which is unfortunate because I'd like to see a lot of the more competitive games be popular. They're popular on PC, but I think it's like a mentality shift here. So the people that are playing mobile games in America at this point in time, they're looking for something that is under 10 minutes. That they can play while they're in line or like really quickly with like their friends, something like that. Whereas you we'll typically get a more hardcore person who's like really into it if